Now, let's look at two major methods which are involved in pricing of the bonds. We'll use a risk neutral mechanism to price the bond along with a state price deflator mechanism. So, state price deflator mechanism majorly comes into when we are looking at the real world probability measures, whereas here it is coming out, it just takes a risk neutral probability measure Q. So how we are typically coming at pricing the value of the bond given whatever is the probability measure. Now, first of all, I need to understand the stochastic differential equations for the interest rate R as well as the bond price T under both the measures. Right, that is what is the starting point for doing any kind of a pricing. So whenever we are looking at the stochastic differential equation for a short-term interest rate, one, if I look at it under the real world probability measure, I see that DRT is some function drift part based on the current rate at current time dt, there is a drift along with a volatility which is contributing a b function r of t, and there is a standard Brownian motion, right? So basically this portion is what is the drift, brt is the volatility, and obviously dwt is the standard Brownian motion under the real world probability measure P. Now in this, if I am looking at from the bond price perspective, the DBT, where T is the capital T stands for the expiry date of the bond or the maturity date of the bond, and T is the current time period. So for a bond which is maturing at time T, a zero coupon bond which is maturing at time T, if I want to find out the present value of it, I am simply taking it as BTT, whatever is the current price. The stochastic differential equation for this works out to DBT. I'm looking at the expected return, the mu part, which is contributing to the drift, and the volatility part along with a standard Brownian motion. So this is what should work out to the price of the bond under the real world probability measure. But the same if I am going towards a risk neutral, probably it's just that I am having some A cap. The A cap times, the drift will be a changed drift now. Under the risk neutral probability measure using the Cameron Martin Girasna's theorem, I could see that there could be a conversion of the drift. So here I am saying A cap RT comma T dt plus here only the drift will change, the volatility will not change. So volatility I am still maintaining it as this, and of course the standard Brownian motion is going to change. So here we know now the A cap, which is the change in the drift. What would be the value now? This change in drift, how much it would be? It would be, I'll base it on the market price, right? We can very well change whatever is the real world probability measure minus the market price of risk gamma t times the market price of risk gamma t times BRT. So this comes out to be the new drift, right? I can very well find out gamma t here. Gamma t comes out to me as the market price of the risk MTT minus the risk-free rate of return divided by STT. So that comes out to be the market price of the risk. And in the same way, I could very well go about the DWT also. We know that DWT is again using the Cameron Martin CMG theorem. I can very well write it as gamma times dt. And this will be a standard Brownian motion where this is a standard Brownian motion under Q. This is a standard Brownian motion under P. And adding up whatever is the zero coupon bond price in case of this, I could very well go with the same BTT. Now I'll not have mu here, it would be R. When I'm going with a risk neutral, I'm not taking mu. I'm directly taking R. Where that is where we are transforming this mu to R. So this becomes RT, and the volatility does not change, so it becomes STT dW cap of T. So these two would be the expressions for the short rate under the real world probability measure as well as the risk neutral probability measure, and along with that I could very well compute the market price of risk also. The gamma TT at any point is going to come out as MTT minus R. MTT is the mu part, STT is the standard deviation part. So that's how we can find out both the stochastic differential equations under the real world probability measure as well as the risk neutral probability measure, both for the interest rates as well as for the price of the bond. Now that I know these are the risk neutral kind of a probability measures, I can very well give the pricing. Now if I want to see the zero coupon bond price, right, which is maturing at time t. Now that I have here dBT is coming out as B, the BTT times R of t plus STT d cap of t. Now from here, if I really want my B, the bond price, I'm simply looking at the expected value of whatever is the payoff, right? E to the power of minus from t to t. I'm trying to get the interest rates. Are you instantaneous rates of interest at each of them? I'm trying to find the present value of all these instantaneous rates given I know the interest rate up to time t. Given a filtration up to time t, so from that t to the future period of t, whatever are the interest rates that are going to come up in the future, I am taking the expected value. I'm trying to find out the expected value of all these. I'm finding out the expected value of all these various possibilities of the interest rate, trying to get discounted to the time period by the current time period. And if at all I am seeing some derivative that is going to pay a t of, that is going to pay some kind of payoff of xt at time t, probably everything remains the same. This entire thing I am multiplying it with xt and everything is coming out. So the assuming that xt is equal to 1, I am calling it as a zero coupon bond price. And if at all it is working out to any kind of a derivative that is paying xt at time t, even the price of the derivative can very well be obtained through this mechanism. This is purely going with the risk neutral kind of a pricing approach. Whereas on the other side, if I want to see a state price deflator process, wherein the real world probability measure is coming into picture. So I could see the change in the state price deflator is nothing but A of t times there is a change in the drift process mu A of t dt, along with as a volatility process there is a change in the volatility, so I am directly changing that to be the state price deflator. So mu A of t is the drift parameter and sigma AT is the volatility parameter. And we know that mu AT here is nothing but minus R of t, which will make it a super martingale. The entire deflator process is going to be a super martingale. And from this we can very well go ahead using the state price deflator approach. When I want to find out the price of the derivative, it's nothing but take whatever is the value of the derivative at time t, multiply it with the state price deflator at that particular point, given the filtration up to the time period t, and you divide it by the state price deflator at the point t. And when we talk about a zero coupon bond, probably you can very well talk of V of t equal to 1. So the zero coupon bond price is going to come out as the state price deflator at time t given a filtration at time t divided by the state price deflator at time small t. This is what is going to work out as the price of the bond. So there are two different mechanisms in terms of pricing the bond. Either I get into the state price deflator approach or I get into the risk neutral kind of a pricing approach. And these two can help us in solving the price of the bond quite comfortably. Right, so this is what is a basic understanding which we require with respect to the pricing of the bond under the risk neutral mechanism as well as the state price deflator mechanism. Right?